Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Hawaii Association Counseling Association College Fair. Thank you so much for joining us. Specifically, this will be the Exploring STEM and Health Major session, and so we're excited for you to join us. Just before we get started, we do have a few housekeeping items to note. First, if you have any questions at all, feel free to submit those through the Q&A. You can type in your questions to the presenters at any time throughout the presentations. Your camera and microphone are off. You are muted and your video is off. The panelists can't see or hear you. There are more sessions happening today, so feel free to sign up for more sessions where you registered for this one. And lastly, this session will be available and this session will be recorded. You can access all recordings at strivescan.com/Hawaii. So without further ado, I'll get out of the way and turn it over to both our presenters.
Hi, everyone. Welcome and thank you for joining our presentation today. Thank you, Donna, for putting up our slides. So if you are in the right spot, you're here to learn more about exploring STEM and health majors. And our short tagline is positioning yourself for college and your career. So we hope to be able to share some tips, tricks, and just knowledge about making sure that you are able to prepare yourself for this type of field while you're in high school. So thank you all again for joining, and we can move on to the next slide and do introductions. So my name is Kim Dela Cruz Kelly. I'm with Washington State University.
And I'm Donna Ramos Barshana, and I'm with Pacific University, Oregon. And we are going to put the hands in yours where we're going to poll for a little bit. So we're going to go take a look at our chat and see what STEM and health career majors you're interested in. So we're just going to see what you're interested in studying so we can kind of get an idea. If you would mind utilizing the chat box, we'll take a look.
The chat might be disabled, I think, Donna. So if you all want to just use that Q&A and instead of asking a question, answer our question, just so that we can get to know you all.
Perfect. Thanks, Kim. Awesome. We got interest in biology, cybersecurity, mathematics, forensic psychology, wow, neurology, biomedical. Wow, there's a lot of really, really smart students on this call. So we're excited that you're all here and you're definitely at the right spot. So we're going to go ahead and get started and kind of talk a little bit about STEM.
Yeah, so first and foremost, STEM, that's going to be a term that you're going to hear a lot being thrown around. That acronym stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics. And we want to kind of reintroduce STEM with double M, so STEM M, where we add medicine to the end of that, because we also know and understand that health professions fall into a lot of the same categories as these other STEM disciplines as well. So when Don and I talked to faculty on our campuses, they introduced us to this new acronym STEM-M, which again includes the term medicine to represent the health professions field.
So as we're looking at different STEM fields and areas, you want to take a look and see what concentration interests you. So as you kind of glance over all these different options, you'll definitely see something you're interested in, or maybe something you've never heard of before. So you kind of want to ask yourself questions, right, to figure out what you want to study. So are you interested in evaluating and designing the design or effectiveness of a product? So maybe you want to do physics, math, chemistry. Do you enjoy working with a team of members to solve a business challenge, maybe through engineering or agricultural science? Do you enjoy working with machinery to improve its effectiveness? So maybe mechanical science, computer science. Do you prefer using statistics to make a decision or suggest recommendations, maybe through data science? So all of these different things that you can go into. I know some of you are interested also in data protection or digital information through maybe cybersecurity and program development. So basically, bottom line is we want to let you folks know that there's something for everyone in every type of field.
We also wanted to share with you all some key STEM skills, right? And some of these things, you're looking at the list that we have up here. It comes to mind when you think about these STEM disciplines, but maybe some of them don't. So we just wanted to go over some of those things. Using your analytical skills to research topics, develop projects, draw conclusions for what you find, learn how to break down those complex systems into smaller parts to better understand how the complex system works. And then in general, defending your opinions and what your thoughts are and conclusions are using facts, right? Of course, we have our mathematical and calculations and measurements that many of these STEM disciplines will require you to use on a daily basis, whether that's using calculus or applied math, recording data accurately, writing instructions, being able to explain what your math or your science is showing you, to troubleshoot and sort the source of a problem. So being able to figure out what's causing this and what kind of solution can I come up with using that information I found. And then some things that, overarching skills that apply to every really industry and career: communication and cooperation skills. Every single career is going to require that you work on a team. They're going to have the ability to communicate with that team, whether that's verbally through presentations like this, through written communication like email. Communication is going to be really key there. And then creative abilities to solve problems. So thinking outside of the box, not just relying on your analytical skills, right? So using that creativity to think about how you could solve those problems, and even explain, what the problem is and why the solution for that problem is important. And then leadership skills to lead projects. Sometimes you'll find yourself as part of a team where maybe you're more in a supportive role, and other times you're going to be in a leadership role where folks are going to be looking to you to help guide the point of the project, right? And of course, organizational skills are going to come into play no matter what industry you enter, but for sure we want to highlight that in our STEM disciplines as well.
Yeah, so as we take a look, there's definitely upcoming STEM fields, and the possibilities are truly endless. And STEM is often referred as tomorrow's jobs, right? Every solution starts with a problem, right? Every problem is solved by data. So let's reflect on our world today. So what areas or problems need to be addressed? How can we make processes easier? What inventions are we missing? How can we make life better for all? So as you take a look at the list of these are definitely some things that are currently going on in our society today, right? There's things on climate change, vaccines, new medicines and developments, looking at different areas in populations, a rural or community medicine that we need to help different populations, renewable resources, sustainability, cybersecurity, analyzing information and data to see, okay, is this really working, or is there something else that we should try and create and produce? So also technology updates, right? Many of you, even through your devices, you're getting app updates, you're getting the newer iPhone, all these kind of things to make your life even more efficient, quicker, and better. So STEM jobs, as you can see, students, is in very high demand. However, what you may not know is that STEM professionals are in short supply. There's some students, as you can imagine, when they get to college, right, they're interested in STEM, and then sometimes for whatever reason, they may get discouraged or may feel like, okay, I'm not doing well in this area, not getting good grades in my chem class, so maybe it's time for me to stop, right, not to be in it. So we do see a decline in students continuing. So it's definitely one of those professions that are in short supply, but in very high demand. And a lot of high education institutions and even the US government is trying to find different ways to encourage students to study STEM through scholarships, through internships, through automatic entry into the workforce once they graduate. So we really want to be as supportive as possible. So many STEM professions didn't exist 10 years ago, right? Look at 10 years ago, we didn't have all these careers that are currently going on in STEM. And I can only imagine what the jobs 10 years from now are going to look like for all of you folks.
And just to give you an idea of maybe what those careers are, we did some research about the top 15 most popular STEM fields and careers. And some of these fields, you know, you're like, yeah, of course, this is going to be a popular field. And some of them may surprise you. Remember that the area of STEM is very diverse in which industries they're going to land in, right? Sure, you're an engineer and maybe you want to work for a company like Boeing. But every company outside of the tech industry, the engineering industry, needs an IT manager, for example, right? We all have some type of technology that we're using in whatever industry you find yourself in. So just remember that STEM is a very diverse field. It's made up of a lot of different industries with folks who specialize in science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and medicine or medical concepts, right? So again, like that IT manager or maybe a financial assistant, you know, those positions and that type of field is found in every single company. Because like Donna mentioned in that previous slide, truly you don't know how technology is going to evolve, what career path folks choose in the future, right? Or what fields become popular in the future, because as technology develops, we also need to keep up with that and have folks learn those skills to help provide that service to all industries.
Well, students, let's take a look and try. I'm sure you're trying to look and decide if STEM is the right field for you, right? I'm sure some of you may be influenced by peers, influenced by parents, institutions saying like, okay, I need to study STEM, but really trying to figure out if it's truly the right field for you. So let's take a look at some of those questions, right? Are you interested in the natural world? How the body works, right? Do you curious about how your cell phone operates? Like what makes this operating system? Or are you thinking about, hey, if we had an app for this, it would make so much easier for me to go through the college process or for me to order food, right? Everything started with asking questions. Maybe there's a video game that you feel like needs to be created that a lot of teens would enjoy. Are you interested in how things work? Do you enjoy breaking things apart? Were you one of those kids who would take apart like someone's for example, someone's computer, start breaking things apart and be like, okay, I want to put it back together. So something where you enjoy the intricate pieces and interested in using technology possibly to change the world. So once you figure out if STEM is the right field for you, there's a lot of benefits. And we've noticed, Kim and I have noticed all these different things as we graduate students into the workforce, right, with STEM fields. So we've noticed that people in STEM, right, are building our future. You are shaping technologies, programs, products, everything. We see an increase in job security, right? Like I was mentioning, it's high demand. So once you decide that STEM is right for you, they're going to be knocking down your door and say, hey, work for us. Every company, every institution, whether they be educational, government, technology, everyone needs someone in STEM. And then also you'll notice that a lot of the skills you can transfer to any position, right? So you have transferable skills in analytics, technical information, problem solving skills, and it's in the heart of every job that you can possibly get. So really knowing that STEM, there's something for everyone, right? All STEM fields focus on problem solving and creating new knowledge so that we hope that you can kind of decide if this is right for you. And like the bottom says, curiosity drives every scientist to discover, and every person could use some training in STEM. And we believe that everyone here today is already a STEM scientist, right? Reflect on your daily curiosity and look at each day as an opportunity to view our world and find solutions.
And maybe some of that curiosity and some of those projects that you're working on, you're already doing through the classes that you've decided to take. And so these are some of the classes that we want you to consider taking while you're in high school. These are the types of courses that not only will prepare you for the academic rigor of being in a STEM discipline in college, but it'll also start introducing you to those introductory concepts that will help you have kind of like a jump start or a head start once you take these courses at the college level. So math classes like statistics, you got applied math classes like physics, right? Chemistry courses. One of the important things I want to kind of introduce you all to is maybe you take a look at this list of classes and you're like, well, I know a lot of students who they took these classes and they really struggled, or, their GPA fell because they took these classes. One of the things that, our institutions do is holistic review, right? We want to look at the types of classes that you took. Did you take an AP type of course in the sciences because you're interested in STEM? Those are things that we consider. So I know some of these courses may seem intimidating because maybe you'll have to add in some extra time to study for them outside of the classroom. But those are kind of habits that you're wanting to get used to now and develop now, because you're going to see that again in college anyway. So it's a really great way to prepare. Don't be afraid to take these courses. The number one thing as well is students who do well in these classes aren't afraid to ask for help. Tutoring is not for students who are struggling. It's for students who want to succeed in the classes that they're taking. So, don't be afraid to ask for help. Go in during your lunch times to see if there's extra tutoring available to you by your teachers right now in these classes, so that they don't feel so intimidating. So again, things for you to consider taking. If you're interested in a field, maybe you're interested in like computer science, but your high school doesn't offer some type of computer technology course. Take a class that may introduce you to those concepts, right? Whether that's an economics class, or it's maybe a math class that's going to prepare you to be in that type of computer science class. Try your best to get as close as you can to the field that you're interested in, because the more you explore, the more you take these types of classes, the more you're going to be able to decide, is STEM really something I'm interested in, right? Also, there's going to be multiple times throughout this presentation where we talk about classes, and if anything, take at least one science and one math every year or every semester. If your high school is by semester, don't take any breaks in science and math, because those are the types of skills and knowledge that if you don't use it, or you're not kind of massaging your brain to remember those concepts, you're going to forget them, right? Who remembers the Pythagorean theorem or whatever it is if they're not using it all the time? So you want to make sure that, again, you don't take breaks from science and math if you really do want to explore STEM disciplines in college.
So now there's some things that you can do outside of classes, right? So what else can we do in high school? So definitely looking at this list, we want you to explore your options. There's so many different things that you can do to figure out if it's right for you, through research, through talking to people. Hopefully during this pandemic, as things start to calm down, maybe possibly you can shadow someone, or maybe just set up a phone call. Say, hey, can we talk to you about, see what your day is like and why you selected this career? You can always talk to them via phone or through Zoom. Take classes that interest you, right? So try to take classes that you're excited about. If it's an art class, awesome. Fun fact, you will need art and STEM to design, create, look at things visually. So take things that you enjoy. Possibly help a community organization with budgeting, right? Numbers, like Kim was mentioning, math is going to be in everything. I know you're like, oh man, I have to take math. That's something that's often a prerequisite to get into the higher level classes that you'll take in college. So starting maybe with your own budgeting, with your finances, and then starting and helping another company. Try and take an AP or honors class. Even if you don't, that doesn't mean that you can't go into STEM. Bottom line we want to emphasize is to challenge yourself, right? Challenge yourself. Look at your transcript. Say, hey, have I challenged myself? Have I tried something in it to show that I am stepping outside of the box? And that doesn't mean to take 10 AP classes when you're in high school. It just means to challenge yourself every single year. Look at data collection. Maybe start to work on getting information and gathering and learning to make conclusions based on that information. It doesn't have to be so technical or be in a school setting. You can do that. Some students have volunteered at summer camps or maybe something like that involving with science. But there's also ways on the web that you can volunteer for science programs or help out, maybe a youth group or something that's starting to get used to STEM. Maybe you can be that mentor. Start learning how your computer works, your cell phone works, maybe video games, how to create a video game, how to create a program. There's YouTube videos all over the place and resources for you to start learning from the comfort of your home. Ask lots of questions. Like Kim was saying, ask questions, connect with teachers, get to know them so that they can help guide you, because they know a lot about you and your strengths. So maybe they can say, hey, you know what? You're actually really good with numbers. have you thought about being a statistician or a data analyst? You're like, oh, I didn't think that. I only thought I had to be a, like a doctor. I thought that was the next path, but there's all kind of different fields in STEM. Definitely get help on your homework, because I'll tell you that you have to be comfortable with saying, I don't know, right? I have no idea. Can you please help me? Because like Kim was saying, these classes are going to get progressively harder. And it's not meant to scare you, but it's to realize that, hey, you're not going to know all the information and all the answers. So asking for help is going to really help guide you as you navigate through these STEM careers. Definitely want to be able to talk to people and why they selected their career. And students, as you look at this list, right, you may think, oh man, we're in the middle of a pandemic. I can't get in touch with these people. But what have we learned during this pandemic? Technology and information is right at your fingertips. You've adapted, you've changed, you've figured out ways to get connected, and you can get involved from the comfort of your own home. So we have learned, students, that you don't have to be physically in person to create, collaborate, and to create change. So we want you to start today.
And what better way to inspire you to start today with some awesome quotes. So remember, the most challenging problems require contributions from multiple STEM disciplines. As we reflect on this past year, right, when COVID impacted everybody's lives, we had to rely on many different areas of STEM to help us continue to connect when we couldn't connect in person, right? From distance learning to the development of vaccines, to solutions that were created so that folks can continue to seek healthcare when you couldn't actually see your healthcare professional, right? And so these solutions were not developed by just one area of STEM. It took the collaboration of many experts from every field to contribute their knowledge, and then from there to create a creative solution, right? And for us to kind of rely on each other to fill in the gaps where our expertise can't fill in that knowledge. So we can even think of smaller pivots that companies made throughout this past year that really made us think, wow, you really can apply your different expertise to assist in other fields. So for example, when there was a very low supply of cleaning supplies, disinfectants, we all of a sudden saw a bunch of companies that did not specialize in cleaning supplies, disinfectants, soaps, producing those items, right? So they applied some of the methodologies, some of the technology they were using to create their own products to then create something like a hand sanitizer, a cleanser, a disinfectant. So you really see that. And I think that this past year has really opened our eyes to the possibilities of how technology, information, and data can be used to really expand how we're kind of impacting the world. And so, really keep in mind all the things we've been saying in the past slides about, STEM being a really diverse discipline and a diverse industry, because you really can find yourself in a STEM industry and not actually be a scientist or a doctor, right? That we think you need to be to consider yourself part of STEM.
So as you start to gather your resources, we want to make sure that you're aware of some things that you could do right now from the comfort of your home. So Kim and I work for universities, so we have all kind of different options for you folks, and many colleges do as well. So maybe scheduling a faculty meeting that you can talk to a professor, right, and ask, hey, I just want to talk to you about maybe some internships that your college offers in STEM. Where are your graduates now that they have graduated from STEM fields? What are they doing? Where are they located? How did they get into med school, graduate school? All those kind of things to help you get an understanding of what the university has to offer. There are a lot of universities that are allowing a virtual sit in a class, right? See what a STEM class is like, see what a bio class is like, or math class, and see if it really excites you. There's a lot of scholarships that are in STEM. So you can look at the different resources on the college website, talk to your college counselor, and maybe see some kind of STEM scholarships that are available for students, and even outside organizations are offering a lot of scholarships, and companies saying, hey, I'm going to offer scholarships to pay your tuition if you get this type of degree. So a lot of different things that you can look at to help fund your education. But you also want to look at the requirements to get into certain STEM majors. Some may require calculus, some may require 4 years of math, some may require maybe shadowing hours or something like that. So every college is different. So you really want to get in touch with the admissions counselor, which Kim and I are both admissions counselors, and they're admissions counselors at other schools too, to really see what kind of resources they have to offer. Communication is key. So definitely want to research the questions yourself. And then if you don't have the answers, reaching out to different people on the college campus, your teachers, community organizations, businesses, really trying to get involved and putting your best foot forward. And Kim and I will talk a little bit about that as we conclude about some ways to put your best foot forward and introducing yourself and connecting. There's a lot of different websites that you can go into if you just search for STEM projects online, getting involved in your community or in your high school, different ways to start getting involved. And like I said, with scholarships and joining webinars, there's lots of webinars that are available now to connect students. So you really want to utilize that.
Yeah, and so if maybe you're stumped with, what are some, personal projects I could take on, or, as your science teachers ask you to participate in a science fair, maybe you're stumped with a project. These are some ideas here that we want to be able to inspire you, that these are things you could actually do at home with some maybe some materials that you need to purchase that are specialized, but some materials that, rubber bands. How many of us have those grocery bag rubber bands that are lying all over our house, right? So building a rubber band helicopter, paper roller roller coaster, building a lava lamp. Those are some cool things. I remember when I built a pizza box oven for a science project in high school, right? Learning solar energy that way. So really think about some of the things that you could be designing on your own, or just dabble in, even if you don't, maybe it's not a successful completion, but you tried, right? You tried to figure out the solution or the problem and then find a solution for it. And if maybe you don't have a successful try on your own, bring that to school, or find other students who are interested in what you're interested in, and maybe some of their knowledge, like we were saying, right? There's so many people that can contribute to these solutions that could help you truly build these projects. So it doesn't need to just be you on your own. And you could build these things as a group project, not just by yourself. So really think about that, and dabbling in these smaller programming projects or building projects, so that, again, you can keep your curiosity stimulated, so that you continue to want to be in that mindset of, discovering, building, taking things apart, putting them back together.
So as we take a look now that we're trying to prepare you, I know some of you may be juniors, some of you may be seniors, so all different types of students. And we really want to make sure you understand the best etiquette and the best way to position yourselves as you work with admissions teams on different college campuses. One thing is your email address. We highly suggest for you to have an email address that's professional. I know some of you may even create a college email that you're going to specifically give to colleges. Keep it as professional as possible, and realize that colleges see your email addresses, so you want to make sure it's as professional as possible, and they'll often share it with department heads too. So create an email address, and setting up your voicemail box. I know Kim and I will contact students all the time, and we get really sad when the voicemail box is not set up, or there is a silly message and we're trying to give them an academic scholarship, or we can't even leave a message because the voicemail box is completely full. So all these things, you want to make sure that you're setting up your voicemail. Just have it something like, hi, my name is, hi, this is Donna Ramos Barsana. Sorry I missed your call, but please leave a message. Something simple like that. Your name, your last name, so that colleges can start communicating with you, and even businesses as you start to put yourself out there. Professional messages. I know Kim and I will get voicemails and emails that say, hey, what's my scholarship? Or like, can you check my app? And we're like, normally you would want to have it be as professional as possible, because Kim and I are also trying to figure out how we're going to give you scholarships, what opportunities are we going to give you. And even though we're as friendly as can be and want to give you as much opportunity as possible, we want to make sure that you are the best fit for our college. And a lot of times it's putting yourself in a professional manner at first to kind of showcase all the things that you have to offer. But definitely your email address, your voicemail, and how you're messaging colleges is very important in the college process.
So, kind of continuing on that talk of professionalism and putting your best foot forward, social media is such an interesting platform, right? Because we see it as a a personal platform where we could express ourselves, but sometimes it mixes in with our our professional resume, online resume. So remember that how you interact online contributes to your virtual resume. Practicing how you want to represent yourself online now will make it easier when you transition into the workforce. Not only will that be a transition that you're going to experience maybe after you graduate from college, which really feels like far away from now. Some schools look at your social media presence when they're looking to admit you to their university, and you don't want to have something on your social media that doesn't represent you well. Maybe it was a joke that you were posting, maybe it was a joke that your friend was posting on your page, and now it represents you in not the best light, right? So many college students are seen as paraprofessionals, right? You're in this in-between stage. So remember that creating your professional presence starts today. It could start now. And you could do small things to start adjusting your privacy settings, to start adjusting your maybe the way you talk about yourself and others on your social media. And then something to know is that privacy settings aren't always going to protect you from everything, right? Because as expand your network, someone could take a screenshot of something that you posted and send it to somebody that maybe is connected to the university that you really want to attend, or maybe the job opportunity you really are seeking out. So just be mindful of those things. Colleges and different professional groups will utilize social media as well to connect with their incoming students. We'll try to get incoming students to connect with each other. So really, your social media is an important representation of yourself. And again, putting your best foot forward on social media now is going to be really important in the future.
Yeah, so just going along with those lines with your virtual resume, right? How can we use social media as a tool? It is meant to be a tool for all of you, and so we want to use it like one. So follow colleges on the social media, ask questions, message them, participate in polls so they can say, wow, this person's really communicating on our social media. Who is this person? Let's look them up. Where's he from? It happens all the time. So it's a way for you to communicate with students and staff. We kind of take a look, professors will take a look, administrators, and you can definitely follow financial aid and scholarship pages, social media influencers that talk about college tips, right? Even though the fun, goofy photos and videos that we follow are exciting at the time, but really, is it going to advance our career? Is it going to get us closer to our goals? So now we're in this stage of positioning ourselves and making sure we are ready for college and ready for a STEM field. You want to be sure that you're utilizing your time wisely with how we interact on social media, YouTube, and all the informational platforms. There's a lot of opportunities for virtual tours and to hear from different current students, parents, alumni. So we want to try and shift your thinking and using social media as a tool. So we're going to go towards getting you ready.
Yeah. So your transcript, right? So remember that your transcript is your academic resume. It illustrates to your admissions counselor your academic journey in high school. Did you choose to take a mixture of classes that really challenged you every year? It tells us how you spent your time in school and the effort you put in outside of the classroom to do well in the classroom. It's always better to have an upward trend. So, doing better every year, you're improving your cumulative GPA. And something I really want to, hit home is that your senior year matters. You may be applying with just your junior year grades because, many of our admissions applications come out in early fall during your senior year. But there's usually that to-do list, final transcript, and we do look at your senior year to make sure that you maintained your grades, that you still did well, that you passed all your courses. So keep that in mind. The second thing you want to focus on is your essay. If your colleges ask you to complete an essay, and most colleges will, whether that's through their admissions application or through their scholarship application, keep in mind that we already have access to your transcript. Don't retell us what's on your transcript or the resume that you submitted. You should tell us things that those things don't highlight. So for example, if you took an AP physics course or an AP something course, but you did this really cool project, that we wouldn't have known about unless you told us about it in an essay. Highlight something like that, right? So what makes you you? What makes you interested in our school? What's going to make you someone who's going to make a difference on campus? How are you going to contribute to the university and community? And overall, what's your impact to the world going to be, right? And I know those seem like really broad ideas, but everyone chooses a career field because they want to make a difference in some way. What's that difference that you want to make? And you could highlight that in your essay. And then the last tip for this piece is review, and then peer review. So don't write an essay and then submit that first draft to us, because more likely than not, there's going to be a typo. Maybe you meant to say something, but I read it and I don't understand what you're trying to say, right? So you always want to have someone else review it, whether that's a peer, whether that's a college counselor, maybe it's your counselors at school, your high school teachers, because you may know what you meant to say, but it's not translating well in what you've actually written, and they could help you improve your already great writing, right?
Well, taking a couple of different things that you have to look at. So really diversifying your portfolio, because even though you're interested in STEM fields, we want to see what else are you doing? What else are you doing outside of STEM or even within STEM and extracurricular activities? I know that even in the pandemic, it's really hard to get involved in a lot of different club organizations and being active in your school. However, there's, like we said, there's so many ways, even at the comfort of your home, that you can show your leadership or show what kind of hobbies you're interested in, or mentor from a distance, right? So we want to make sure that you are being a leader. Don't just list all the fun different things that you've done and make a little grocery list. We want to see, what did you do within that organization and how did you contribute within those programs? So really trying to figure out, how can I not only be involved, but how can I be a leader, right, in these programs? And interaction, it's really important that you guys realize that reaching out to colleges makes a huge difference, right? How you connect with them, how you talk with them. I know that for Kim and I, if we're looking at our inbox and we see the same name over and over, we're like, wow, when there's a scholarship opportunity, I'm gonna recommend Kim, because she emails me, every 2 weeks, tells me all the great things she does. She asks great questions. She's talking about STEM. I'm gonna get her an interview into our graduate program because she's been so engaged. Or here's a scholarship opportunity for you. And oftentimes that happens, and it's just by how you treat people. So start practicing on how you're treating your high school classmates, your teachers, your mentors, because when you get to college, you want to be sure that you're interacting with everyone in a positive light.
All right. And we're just going to spend a little bit of time talking about, how are you organizing your time? Figuring out the organization skills and methods that work for you is the most important thing. What may work for one person may not work for another person. So Donna and I probably manage our time very differently, but it works for us, right? Keep in mind that there's a difference between time management, right? Knowing where you need to be and at what time you need to be there, and project management. How will I use my remaining time that I don't have a meeting or that I don't have classes? What do I need to do, and in what order do I need to do them? Every student uses a combination of the two different types, time management and project management, to basically complete all of their tasks, right? And so again, what may work for me may not work for you. And so sharing what works will help. And then you could figure out yourself what's the best method. When it comes to, what works for one class may not also work for another class. So really exploring that in high school will help you kind of set some framework for how you want to manage your time and manage your projects and assignments when you're in college. So calendar is like time management. Your to-do list is like your project management, and you want to keep utilizing both of those things. Block scheduling is where time management and project management really mix, where you're scheduling out not only your classes, but also, when's your study time? When are you going to be going to open labs or connecting with professors? And that's how we want you to utilize these 3 tips: your calendar, block scheduling, and daily to-do list items.
Going along with that, we really want you to also work on breaking down your goals, right? So if your goal is to work for Apple one day and invent the iPhone 25, I don't even know what it will be by the time you guys are in the field. We want to make sure that you're starting to break down your goals, right? How can you get there? How can you become that leader, that corporate manager? What do you need to do first? Okay, I need to go to college. How do I get into those colleges? How do I prepare myself? So you got to work backwards, right? And make your goals into big goals, into smaller goals, and more attainable. Because thinking about inventing the new iPhone is intimidating, but if I say, okay, I'm going to start by connecting with technology companies. I'm going to start there. I'm going to start researching what it takes to develop an app. So really breaking your goals. Daily habits. We all know it affects how you organize yourself. Making your bed. I know students, you're like, it's so easy to just roll out of bed. Getting into a routine helps. Like Kim was saying, that block schedule is totally real, and our STEM students have it calculated sometimes down to every 5 minutes. They're like, hey, for 5 minutes, I'm going to study on my chem lab. Then I'm going to do in 10 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and connect with my professor. They have things calculated. So you really want to utilize this time to see what kind of daily habits you need to adjust. And we all have our iPhone as a tool, or our Apple phone, or our Android phone, whatever phone we're using as a tool. But sometimes we have it as a distraction mechanism, right? You're scrolling in bed, looking at Instagram, social media, Twitter, whatever you're like, YouTube. But we want to try and position yourself by moving those distracting apps to the farthest part of your phone home screen and putting things that are really going to get you moving forward. Maybe some websites that you're going to use as a shortcut onto your phone. Maybe applications on how to do well on testing, applications on projects, scholarship sites. So creating your home screen to be more effective, because that's going to truly get you set up for in any STEM college or STEM career.
And as we wrap up today, feel free to drop any questions that you have in our Q&A as we work on this last slide. So, we want to finish up our presentation with this simple, but we think powerful quote. Luck is no accident, right? What we really want to hit home is there are things you can do now, people you can connect with now, and decisions you can make now that can improve your opportunities and that will continue to open doors for you. The moment that many folks would consider lucky moments in their lives do not happen by accident. It's not by happenstance. We really can be influencers of our own luck and the experiences that we have. So prior to working in admissions, I used to work in orientation, and our director used to get up on stage and say, raise your hand if you think you were led into the university by accident. You don't know how many students will raise their hand up because they're like, I really don't know how I got here, but I feel so lucky that I'm here. Well, what really got you there was your hard work, the effort that you put in, how determined you were to make sure that you put yourself in the best position to be selected for that college. And I want you to know that that hard work starts now. We're recognizing the things that you're doing. Sure, maybe we can think that there are just some people that are lucky, but you could really set yourself up to create spaces for opportunities to come to you. Like Donna was mentioning, right? The things you get involved in, the way you interact with others, people are going to notice that. People are going to remember, oh, I remember they talked to me about, their goal being so big and they were so nervous about it. And they talked to me about it all the time. I'm going to keep that in mind. When an opportunity comes up, I'm going to reach out to them to let them know, hey, you should apply for this, right? And sure, you may think that's lucky, but really you positioned yourself in a way to get there. So it looks like we have a couple questions in the chat. So I just want to wrap up by saying Donna and I are part of a large group of higher ed professionals who believe in you. We believe in your goals, and we want you to be able to succeed in them. And so we are here for you when it comes to positioning yourself in the best way to be in the area, in the college, and in the industry you want to be in. So it looks like we had one question or a couple questions. Does it help to connect with admissions directors in your junior year of high school? Donna, you want to answer that one?
Yeah, we actually have some 8th graders who communicate with us and very eagerly. So yes, definitely sending an email to admissions counselors and introducing yourself. Let them know what kind of programs you're interested. So Tim and I, as admissions people, can start creating those opportunities for you and getting connected through our website, through events that we're having to get you invested in our college. But yes.
Yeah, and we got another, I would agree with everything Donna said. And with this last minute, I'm gonna, this question is how do I apply for a PhD in a STEM career?
Yeah, so so a thing that we want to make sure that you folks are aware of is, working with your admissions counselor and the admissions counselor for the grad program to realize how to get yourself with your essay, maybe some tests that you need to take, what kind of classes, what kind of extracurricular. So really getting connected through all parts. Yeah, and we just want to conclude by saying this, that Kim and I are going to be available if you folks have any other questions. Kim represents Washington State University, and I represent Pacific University, Oregon, and we're both here to support you through your journey. And we want to let you folks know that we are going to be presenting at 3 o'clock. So definitely see Kim at C7, and I'll be at C4 if you want to hear more from us. But thank you. We look forward to making college a possibility for all of you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Donna and Kim. All great information shared from both of you. And thank you to each of you for joining us. As we close, there will be a very quick 4-question survey that will appear on your browser. If you don't mind taking a moment to fill that out for us, your feedback will be greatly appreciated. There are more sessions happening. As Donna and Kim mentioned, there will be more sessions happening. And so feel free to sign up for more where you registered for this one. And lastly, this recording will be available a week from today at strivescan.com/Hawaii. Again, thank you and have a great day.